to share with you today. For those who need to know, the restrooms are down the hallway to the right, and then to your right when you turn down that hallway. We got water fountains that sort of work. We turned them off for COVID, and now they don't work like half the time. And so sometimes you'll hit them and they'll work, sometimes they don't. But we also have water fountains in the fellowship hall and other things as you might need. But please enjoy your time while you're here, and I'll turn it over to the reason why you are here.
The Forté Handbell Quartet. Have a great rest of your evening. I'm still catching my breath. My name is Luke Nabetta. I'm the director of the Forté Handbell Quartet, based right here in, well, not right here, right down there in Colorado Springs. I kind of consider this home because I'm a mailman as well, and I deliver up here in Monument. In fact, it was only a number of years ago that I set off the alarm in this very building one day. So as I said, my name is Luke Nabetta, and we're absolutely thrilled to be here this afternoon and to get to perform for you. That first piece we played, obviously Joy to the World, fits well with our goal as a group. Our first goal is to glorify God with every note we play. Whether we're playing Christmas carols, or techno, or rock and roll, or show tunes, or, I don't know, maybe someday we'll try rap. We want to glorify God with every note we play. We recognize that any skills or talents we have, the time that we have to practice and to work on those, the time that we have to come out here and to share those with you is a gift from God. So our goal tonight is to glorify Him with every note we play. The next piece we're going to play is completely different than what we just did. Sometimes we love taking pieces like what we just did, that's a piano piece, and adapting it for bells, and we're all going crazy and having a lot of fun. Other times we like to say, what can we do with just the bells we can hold in our hands? So the next piece is one of those. I think it uses, it's not 12, 14 bells. Please enjoy Mary, Did You Know?
Hello. My name is Megan. I am the second most tenured member of the group here. I've been ringing with Forté since 2011, and it's just such an honor and a joy to play with these guys. Luke talked a little bit about our first goal, to glorify God through everything that we do. Our second goal is to push handbells. We call it sort of rethink possible is our little motto, slogan, whatever, and just try to do things that maybe people haven't done before, that we haven't done before, and try to push the instrument to continue growing, since it's a relatively new instrument compared to, like violin or piano or whatever. So one of the ways that we rethought possible recently was Tori left us, and so we're a quartet, and we did the trio thing for a couple of years. So what you'll see in this concert is sort of a mixture of some of the trios that we learned while he was away, and then some quartets that we had done before he left that we have brought back and are looking forward to sharing with you. So this next piece that we're going to play is one of those trios. How many here enjoy Mannheim Steamroller? Yeah, all right, so that's a good sampling there. Hopefully you recognize this. This is Galliarda, a Renaissance dance.
Almost fell over in the talking. So my name is Dylan. I've been with Forté since 2014, and it's just a pleasure to be able to play. It's fun to come up here in Monument, and it's always fun to do Christmas concerts and get everybody in the holiday spirit. That's one of those pieces where Tori came back and we're like, should we add him in? Because that's a lot of notes. But we didn't, so. This is the time in the program, though, where I remind you to please make sure that your phones are on silent, because we don't need competition with your ringers. We have enough. And, but while your phone is out, because you're making sure that it's on silent, just in case, how many people in the room have a Facebook page or a Instagram account? Okay, a good number. Now, how many of you with those have not followed our page on Facebook or Instagram? Aha! So, some of you have a task ahead of you, which you may do this very moment if you wish. I'll wait. But really, our Facebook page especially is a great way to follow what we're doing. That's where we post concert information, we put pictures up there, videos, random posts of other things that are happening. So if you want to keep track of us, that's really one of the best ways to do it. We also have our website, which is a hub of information. We've got our schedule up there, information about us, about the group, about our equipment, all of that sort of stuff. So if you want to get to know what we're about, that's a great place to go. And also on the website, there's a place to sign up for our email list, where we send emails a few times a year, mostly telling about what concerts are coming up and things like that. So if you want to be sure to be on track with what we're doing, that's a great way to do it. There's also a tear-off in your program where you can sign up for the email list. I recommend going to the website to sign up, because if you do it on the tear-off, then we have to be able to read your handwriting to sign you up for the list. So, safer for everybody if you go to the website to do it. Let's see. You are also welcome. We do allow video and photography. So if you are enjoying what you're seeing, take a picture and share that with people. If you share it on Facebook, tag our page so that we can see what you're enjoying, and it's a great way for us to see what people are liking about our concerts. And also, this particular concert, I believe, is being live streamed, so that is going to come up in a moment. But first, on our Facebook page, we have a tradition, and if you like our page already, you know this. At each of our concerts, we like to take a selfie of us with our audience and then put it on the Facebook page. So you are our audience, so you will be in this selfie today. And your job is to look like it's a pleasant time, because it's going on the page no matter what, and it looks better if everybody looks happy. So your job is to smile. Tori's job is to try to fit us into this selfie. And, well, hold on now. There we go. I had taken over this job when Tori was gone, and I appreciate not having to be the one to do it anymore. So Tori's going to tell us how to do this and tell us which end the lens is on so we don't look silly.
Right, I think we're going to have to get it in 2 shots, so let's get this half of the room first.
Hello.
All right, everybody, smile, ready, 1, 2, and 3. Nice, and the other side, please. All right, ready, 1, 2, and 3. Ah, very nice, thank you.
Yay, thank you. I'm sure you looked beautiful, and if you didn't, it's going up anyway. So that'll be on our Facebook page tonight. So when you see that, comment on it, say what you enjoyed, share it with your friends, let people know what you were up to today. We greatly appreciate that. It's a lot of fun for us to see what you like, and it also helps get our name out there a little bit. The running around right before this moment, it's always a thing. So this next piece that we're going to play is an arrangement of Silent Night that we added some vocals to. It's another one that we play with 16 bells, so we'll be away from the table, catching our breath.
Thank you all so much for coming. My name is Tori Marting. As was mentioned before, I have been on a bit of a sabbatical from Forté lately. About 2 years ago, my wife and I moved out to Provo, Utah, and despite all of the provisions given to us by COVID for remote access and being able to have meetings through Zoom and things like that, it still turns out that it's very difficult to play quartet music over the internet. So in the meantime, these three were forced to improve on their trio work, and I was out there wishing that I was here with them to play some more bells. But what that has brought about is one of my favorite things was that I returned and I got to fulfill a dream that all of us have had, which was I got to attend a Forté concert. And I didn't have to be up here. So I've had that pleasure of getting to be where all of you are and enjoy what the three of them can do. Now, coming back to Colorado, obviously we've got a mix of trio and quartet music up here, but I did find that this next piece, Scherzo, which was a trio I had previously played on, had my part usurped by Megan in my absence. And so adding that to this concert, we wondered, well, who's going to play the part? Well, there's only really one fair way to do this.
Uh-oh. This isn't supposed to happen. This isn't supposed to happen. I don't have to do this anymore.
I'll be playing this one. Please enjoy Scherzo, also known as Heiferdal.
So, one of the most common questions that we get asked is, where does our music come from? Obviously, this is a somewhat unique looking instrument, so where does it even come from? So I'm going to answer that. Some of our music is specifically written for handbell, trio, or quartet, as the case may be. That last one was an example. That one was actually written for a handbell trio. So we took it, made it our own. Some of the other ones that we play are in that category as well. One of our more common things that we have been doing of late is we find piano music that we like and we adapt it for ourselves. So when we're doing that, what that looks like is we take a score, a piano score, and we take 4 highlighters, or 3 if it's a trio, and we go through, mark with the highlighters who's going to play what notes, Usually one person will take it, break it out like that. We bring it back to rehearsal, we try it, it crashes, it burns, it doesn't do anything right, and so then we change it. And eventually it sort of refines itself into what we present to you. So Joy to the World at the beginning of the concert is a piano piece by David Lance. We have some others coming up in the Bleak Midwinter, and a few others are in that category. So those are piano pieces that we went through, we adapted for ourselves. We have a similar category of music where it's written for a full handbell choir, which is similar number of bells, but usually 11 to 13 ringers. It's a different type of ringing. And some of those we really like, and so we figure out, okay, same thing. Take the 4 highlighters, figure out what we can cover, what sounds good, and we sort of make it our own in that way. And then we also have a few pieces in here that we wanted, especially when Tori was gone and we needed trios. There aren't as many trios out there as there are quartets. So we were looking for music that we wanted, and we couldn't find an arrangement that just fit us right, so we made our own. So a few of these are in that category as well, and this next one, Lo How a Rose Are Blooming, or just A Rose Are Blooming, is one of those that we did an arrangement for ourselves of. So enjoy.
So you may have noticed that we don't ticket for our concerts. And we're going to keep it that way as long as we can. We give free concerts. And the reason for that is we would rather have every single one of you here than even one person say, I didn't come because I couldn't afford a ticket. And we are thrilled to have the opportunity to present this music for you. That being said, we do have expenses. There is an offering basket on the way out. If you're interested in giving money, that's great. If you can't, that's great too. We're thrilled that you're here. We do have a merchandise table as well in the back that we'll be selling some of our stuff afterwards. Well, they will, I won't. And if you're interested in that, you can stop by the merchandise table. But you know what helps us even more than either one of those is when people like you come alongside us and say, I love what you guys are doing, I love your goals, and I want to be part of it. Well, today's your lucky day. Forté has set up what we call our support team, where for $10 a month, you can become one of our silver level supporters. We'll give you this cool t-shirt with our logo on it, and on the back it says, Forté Handbell Quartet Support Team. We put a lot of thought into that. You also will have the option at that point to our exclusive silver supporter shirt if you like this style better, and we'll throw in a CD as a thank you. And you know, people say, $10 a month, that won't accomplish anything. Well, if one person does it, it's not that much. But what if 100 people are doing it, or 1,000 people are doing it? All of a sudden, we're well on our way to being what, to my knowledge, would be the first full-time performing handbell ensemble in the world. But you know, thank you. That is a dream of ours. We'll see if we ever realize it, and if not, that's okay too. But you know, people say, well, $10, well, that isn't that much. If you want to do $25 a month, we'll take it. So for $25 a month, you can be one of our gold level supporters, and you'll get access to our gold level support shirt, as well as CDs or DVDs or something I don't remember that can help you out in the back. If you want to do more than that, we do have our platinum level for $50 a month or more, which clearly is the coolest shirt, so I would recommend going with this one. At that point, we'll throw in one of all our CDs, our DVD, pretty much, you know, within reason, anything you ask for back there. And while you're a silver or a platinum level supporter, anything we produce, we will send you a copy of for free, just as a thank you for helping us out that way. After this next piece, we are going to have a quick intermission. It's mostly to towel off, to reset some stuff up here. So you can run to the bathroom if you want, but we're going to try to keep it really quick. This next piece is an arrangement of Blessed Assurance. It was a fun piano piece we came across while we were in our trio phase. About the time that you think you can sing along or clap along, we'll probably change time signatures. So please enjoy this fun, energetic, lively arrangement of Blessed Assurance. You have to hold longer than I thought. intermission right now, hopefully 5 minutes-ish. Now it's a great time to get to know the person next to you if you don't already. We'll be back in just a few.
You all stayed. That's the most gratifying part of these concerts, where we have an intermission and we come back and you're still here. So thank you. So you may have noticed that though we are few, we have many bells up here. We play on a primary set of 7 octaves. So that last song went down to the C2, so that was the lowest bell you were hearing. And our smallest bell, the smallest bell actually that exists in this, from this manufacturer, is the C9, which Dylan played on Joy to the World, and Tori is going to demonstrate now. It's really more of a texture than a pitch. So what this amounts to is essentially a piano minus the bottom 3 notes. So that's our main set. In this concert, we are using bells from 5 sets, just because we sometimes need duplicates on the table, and you may have noticed that we have bell trees around the room, and so we just have several of the same bell in various places. So we also have a different kind of bell that we're going to use on this next song that has just a different pitch and a different tuning to it. So we've been very blessed over the course of the 15 or so years that this group has been together with the support of our audiences and support team who have helped us to raise our own equipment money so that we could get into having our own bells. When we started, we were borrowing bells, and it's a lot harder to practice and especially to tour with borrowed equipment. It's a lot to say, we're going to go to Georgia and back, can we take your bells with us? So we own now our primary set, but we are working on some duplicate sets, and so if you're interested in donating and you want to donate to something specific rather than just the general fund, we have an equipment fund container back at the sales table, or you can look on our website. There's the part of the fold in on your program has information about the equipment fund. Our Adopt a Bell program is kind of fun, so if you really love the E5, you can sponsor the E5 and get your name on our website, and we are looking into options for actually labeling the bells themselves, so to be part of our organization in a very real way, because obviously we wouldn't be able to do it if we didn't have the equipment. So, and sometimes we use it for maintenance of the bells when we mess them up. So this next piece is another piano arrangement by David Hicken of In the Bleak Midwinter. We hope you enjoy.
Well, over the last number of years, including over the time that I was gone from the group, we've put a lot of effort into recording a good number of music videos in order to help spread what we do to those who can't make it to our concerts or those who've never heard of us, get it out on the internet and help people see all that we do here. Now, what I finally come to realize with making music videos is that the music video is usually higher quality the harder it is to get the bells to the place that we're going to ring. That we're trying to play bells where nobody's in the right mind is ever going to try to play bells. And we always have to thank our camera crew, some of whom are here today, for following us to these random destinations. But we've climbed to the top of mountains. We've played down at Bishop's Castle down south. But some of the places we've even been, we've been out to Kansas where we recorded our piece, Brewery Tap. If you're familiar with some of our other music, we got to record inside sort of an old-time saloon. We had a barkeep behind us, Luke lounging at a table playing the cajon, and it was a lot of fun. Additionally to that, some of the pieces, some of the music videos we've recorded are actually almost set for release. We've got new ones on their way, in addition to the ones that are already on our DVD back at the table. We've played out at Luke's family farm it was probably, low teens when we were playing out there, and wishing that we had better insulation on our gloves. Excuse me, guys. Now, one of the other fun places we played was down at Bear Creek Park, I believe it was, or nearby there, and we played our piece, As the Deer, if you're familiar with that contemporary worship piece. And we played next to a nice trickling stream, or in my case, in some shots, you can see me standing in the stream, as was required by the video crew, I guess. But there's a lot of fun little tidbits if you look closely in some of these. And we're also excited that we're able to implement a number of aerial shots with a drone that we've been using as well. It's been a lot of fun getting to use that. But speaking of being next to a river or in a river, that leads to our next piece, which is Los Peces en el Río, or in English, The Fish in the River, which is actually one of my favorite trio pieces that these three play. It's a wild ride. Please enjoy.
We now come to one of the most exciting parts of the concert, and that is the question and answer session. So, if you have questions about anything we're doing, about our music, about us, I will endeavor to answer, and if you don't have questions, I'll be asking you some very personal ones. Yes, ma'am. So how long does it take us to figure out which bells to pick up, where to put them, things of that nature? Well, it goes with each piece. So some of our pieces take a couple months to memorize, some of them take only a few weeks. It depends on the type of piece. For memorization, it's actually easier for the pieces where we're moving at the table and moving things around because there's a lot of body involved in the memory. Whereas the ones that are in hand take actually more time to memorize because there's less for your brain to kind of grab onto. So yes, so for a full bell choir, for that style of ringing, each person generally has 2 notes, so C and D, plus the accidentals. So what we're doing, it's the same instrument. It's kind of like what Luke says is it's like violin versus fiddle. So the instrument is the same, but the way you play it is quite a bit different in the style of what you're doing. So, I guess to answer the original question, depends on the song. Anywhere from a couple weeks to a few months to figure out how to do all that stuff and then to remember where you did it. If you put a bell somewhere, you got to tell the other person, you know. So you got to be on the same page. So it does take some time to do that. Yes, ma'am. So on that last piece, yes, we had a couple of drums. So what we used to do is we had a big bass drum and a snare drum from a drum kit, and then we just put pedals with them. And then we discovered that minor percussion makes these beautiful things that are designed to be played with your foot. So that one is called a snare box, and that one, excuse the sock, is called a bass box. And so Luke and I had those going under the table. The sock is because we didn't like the tone of the beater, and so you improvise. But the stripes really make all the difference. So, so yes, those were under the table. Did you have a question? The big bell, the C2, weighs about 17 pounds. Yeah. As opposed to the C9, which is like, I don't know, an ounce. It runs quite the range. So yes, the biggest bell, about 17 pounds, and about $6,000 without a case. So this is not a cheap instrument that we've fallen in love with, but we love it anyway. Yes? How often and how long do we practice? We practice twice a week, usually about 3 hours at a time. Coming into this concert, we've been doing a little bit more. We've done 3 rehearsals a week. When we have things coming up, we'll sometimes add extras. But on the typical week, Monday and Friday evenings are when we do it. And we have to fit it between when full-time work ends and when Luke's kids have to go to bed. So we've got that window right there in the afternoon and evening. So, yes? Where do we practice? So for a long time, we practiced at Forté Lutheran Church down in Colorado Springs. And then a couple years ago, the Nebedas moved to a new house, and it had a basement. And it had a nice big space, and so we said, that's ours. So we rehearsed in their basement, which is actually a huge blessing, because for one thing, it means we don't have to tear all this down after every rehearsal. And for another thing, it means that, as I said, Luke has his family. He's got 5 kids. And so when bedtime comes, he can go upstairs and help instead of having to drive home. And so that actually lets us be able to practice even longer in that way. So it's been a huge blessing. So for the sake of time, I'm going to move on. If you have any other questions, if you think of anything, come talk to us after the concert at the table back here or back there. We love to get to know people, and we love to answer questions. So don't be afraid to come ask. This next piece that we're going to play is called We Three Kings, and hopefully you will recognize it.
So, it is December 4th, which means that it is 21 days until Christmas, or if you're like my family and celebrate on Christmas Eve, it is 20, what have I just done? 20 days until, 20 days until Christmas Eve. I backed myself into my own corner there. Anyway, so I'm about to tell you all that you will need for Christmas presents. So we have, how many of you have seen us before? Has someone asked you that already? I wasn't paying attention if they did. Awesome. So if you've seen us before, which was a lot of you, you know that we have upside down CDs. We have 3 CDs and a DVD. If you haven't gotten them already, you can bring them home and bring us home with you so you can celebrate Christmas with us or just all year round with some of our other mix and match CDs. Then we have a bunch of t-shirts. So we recently switched vendors for our t-shirts, and thus we have now a bunch of different colors in our 2 designs that we have. Tori is showing you right now our a Celtic cross design that was designed by Luke's brother, very talented family over there. And we have that in stock in the red and the green because Christmas, right? But then we also have it in pink and blue. And then we have a Rethink Possible design, which we have in black, which Luke is holding, and blue, which Tori is holding, and that was designed by Luke's sister. So again, very talented family. It has our logo on the back, Rethink Possible on the front, with a little swirl of stars and bells and chimes. Then, because it is winter and sometimes cold, we have blankets. They are super comfy. They are called sweatshirt blankets. So you know when you get a new sweatshirt and it's nice and fuzzy inside? That is this blanket, and that is why it needs to be part of your life. And, and while you are covered in your blanket, you could be sipping your favorite type of hot beverage in our Forte mug. It has the Rethink Possible design on the one side, our logo on the other side, and is blue on the inside because that's cool. And special today, if you get a mug, you get apple cider. And there's a funny story about that. Ask Dylan if you want to know. And finally, we have hand-crocheted bell ornaments, which are made by Dylan's mom, who is around here somewhere, and now there she is. Very talented family over there, too, arts and craftsy. See, we know how to use our family's gifts to help further our mission. So she does a new design every year, so if you have one from a previous year, this one is different than those. And you can see, if you're up close, that it actually has Forté Handbell Quartet 2022 on the handguard on there. And we have, just special for you today, a winter bundle, which is the blanket and the mug and the ornament for $10 off of what you would have paid for them individually, so that you can be covered in your blanket, sipping your favorite hot beverage while looking at your Christmas tree with the beautiful bell ornaments on it. And if you choose to, you could also be listening to our Christmas CD. So it's the whole Forte Christmas experience. So we'll be back at the sales table, which is just right back there after the concert, if you want to come and do all of your Christmas shopping. This next piece that we're going to play is going to do a little surround sound for you. So this piece is called Carillon. It is by Kevin McChesney. There's a microphone there.
Oh, we enjoyed that piece. It's a little bit off topic, but I noticed sitting back behind here while they played Los Peces en el Rio with the cymbals out here, that if you're not looking closely, it almost looks like Luke uses the bells to hit the cymbals. And it's exciting, to say the least. But we're coming down the home stretch of another concert, and before we let you all go, we just had a few thank yous that we'd like to share with all of you. The first being to the church here, of course. Trinity Lutheran Church, they've done a great job at hosting us, and they've been super exuberant just to help get us what we need and get us up here in order to perform this concert for you. Especially Delaney and Joe Evelo. They've been in the back taking care of sound, taking care of all the work. Thank you, guys. They're just some of the few people who, without whom this just wouldn't be happening right now, and we're thrilled to be able to use them for this. In addition to that, our support group, as Luke mentioned earlier, we wouldn't be up here doing this if it weren't for our supporters, or at least not in the same capacity that you see here. As Dylan said earlier, this is not a cheap instrument, and the amount of time that it takes in order to get these shows on the road, to be able to rehearse and take time away to do that, it really does, it does have a high cost. But thanks to the supporters that we have, both in the Springs, across the nation, we're just so incredibly grateful that we've been able to get up here with your support and make this happen. Now, finally, of course, this concert wouldn't be a concert without all of you. So thank you so much for taking time in what is always a busy December, it feels like, to come and see us in person. It really is a blast getting the energy from the audience. We would probably be here playing even if nobody showed up and just counted as an extra rehearsal. We love playing that much, but it's so much more fun having you here. So thank you all for joining us. The last piece on your program today is, of course, a classic of the Christmas season. This is an arrangement of Carol of the Bells by David Hicken, called aptly the Bell Carol.
So we have a tradition in Forté that we blatantly stole from another group, but at this point it's been stolen from us, so we figure it's all good. And that is, if we get to the end of a concert and there's even one person left and they clap, we'll play another one. So basically how this works is we love playing bells. This is our passion and our joy, and we love sharing it with you. And we figure if you're still here and still smiling, you'll probably be polite enough to bear with us, right? So I think earlier I saw only about half of you have seen us play before. Is that correct? Seems about right. How would you know? You're like, yeah, we'll go with that. So 15 years ago when this group started, myself and another guy would kind of throw music back and forth, and he had this one song he really wanted to play. And I took one look at it and said, nope, not doing it. Because frankly, it just wasn't all that interesting. But, I said, all right, we'll see what we can do with it. I took it home, spent a number of hours with it, and brought it back and said, wouldn't it just be more fun if instead of playing, bass, tenor, alto, soprano, we just all played all the parts? So over the course of the song, we switched places like 23 times or something. Fast forward 7 years. We're the Forté Handbell Quartet from Colorado Springs, and our number one goal is to glorify God. And the piece that we were nationally renowned for was saber dance. And we said, well, that's kind of weird. So we started looking for something that would fit with our goals better. And we came up with this one. Looks like they're about ready. Please enjoy the Hallelujah Chorus. time to start over, right? I think we would probably pass out. So that's it. But once again, thank you so much for coming. We have our merchandise table in the back. There's an offering basket on the way out. Come ask us questions if you have any. Come talk to Megan and Dylan back. Go talk to Megan and Dylan back there if you would like. So from the Forté Handbell Quartet of Colorado Springs, thank you so much for coming. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you.